Shady, Daniel Jones was the first-round pick, but he had 3 head coaches. He had 2 general managers at the quarterback position, which is the most volatile position in all of sports, probably the hardest position to play in any sport, in any country. Daniel Jones has so much controversy, man. I think he had Shermer. He's obviously had Dable. How can you get right? Do you think Daniel Jones has gotten a fair shake in the Big Apple?
He's a more than fair shake. First of all, what college you went to?
Duke.
Why are we going to Duke to get players? Since when? Now, if it's a spelling bee and you're trying to invent something and all that, for sure. So start your own app. Go get somebody from Duke. Ivy League, I like that. If it's basketball, I get it. This is football. I ain't going to no Duke to get no players. A quarterback? Come on, man. See, it's bigger than him. I blame the front office from the New York Giants. They should never even went to Duke to go get a quarterback. For what? And the results is, you see what he is. He played over 60 games. That's 60 games he shouldn't even got a chance to start. He's not a starter in the NFL. It's not a type of starting quarterback we want. And I don't want to bash on him because I guess I am. But it's not his fault, right? The people that control who's playing, the people that control who they draft, the scouting department, the GMs, those guys should be the one you're pointing the finger at. Why would we pay him all that money, though? Why would they pay him that money? It's so crazy when they pay him that money. I know players on that team. I know them. They know 2-5. We know each other. They say, Shady, I don't know why the hell we done did that. I'm like, me too. I don't know why y'all did that. So I'll say this. I don't want to judge him, right? Because Daniel Jones, get your money, bro. Yeah. I get it. Yeah, but it's not his fault. He should never be the chance to have the ability to start in the NFL. That's the truth of it. And he went to Duke.
Drafted and start?
And he went first round.
First round.
Forget, you know what? Let me take that back. If you're going to Duke to get a player, get him in the 7th round, 6th round, the 5th round. You want him in the 1st round?
6th overall.
Come on, man. And you think you expect to win? And then you don't want to pay a guy like Saquon Barkley. That's the crazy part. A guy like Saquon Barkley, who is your identity of your team, of the city, ain't nobody wearing no Daniel Jones jersey except for his parents and his family. Ain't no fans wearing it. And you go out there and you want to pay him and don't pay Saquon Barkley? That's the craziness. So whatever that happens to them boys over there, I don't really care. Now, I do love that Brian Daboll. That is my dog. But he know they tripping with that.
Yeah.
It was controversial at the time when he was drafted. It wasn't an agreed-upon choice, and it turns out that the controversy was correct. It was a reach, and it hasn't turned out the way that they wanted it to. But to be honest with you, should they be done with him? I mean, you already paid him. I don't really take the Giants very seriously in the scope of the NFL. The only reason we really talked about them outside of Daniel Jones momentarily being good and Brian Daboll obviously having some success with him was Saquon Barkley. That's the only reason we've mentioned the Giants over the past few years. They haven't won the division since 2011. 12 seasons have started and ended since they've won the NFC East.
Come on, man.
They haven't won the division since 2011. This is not a team that competes in the NFL. Okay, you've gone to the playoffs twice since you've won the Super Bowl. One time you got a win over the fraudulent Vikings, and what did that get you? That got you an opportunity to get absolutely smacked by the Eagles in the next round, 38-7. You're not competitive in the landscape. You're not competitive in your own division. So what are we tripping about? The only thing that the Giants have going for them is Brian Daboll.
Yeah, Brian Daboll's a hell of a coach.
They're going to move on from Saquon Barkley. They overpaid Daniel Jones. There's nothing going on there for anyone to be excited about. They're not a competitive team. I don't think they're a playoff team this year. Do you think they're a playoff team this year? Outside of everyone in the NFC East completely falling apart, which we have no anticipation that's going to happen, why would they be a playoff team? Why would we be considering the Giants as a team that's even competitive in the NFL? They're not. They're not. They haven't won the division since 2011. They got one playoff win against a Vikings team that we didn't talk about all season long because we knew it was going to end exactly the way that it did. They were 29th in total offense this year. 30th in scoring offense.
Real quick, though, if you had this chilling, though, you want to have a good laugh, just look up the guys from Duke, though.
I did. It's not.
Tommy DeVito and his agent were the most memorable part of,
I really did.
of the Giants.
And he was regular, too.
Yeah. But,
Very.
I mean,
he was what, their third-string quarterback?
No, he had some love and all that, but he was, I mean.
But if we're really talking Danny Dimes.
Not Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito. We're really talking Danny
Who named him
Dimes.
Danny Dimes, though? I'm sorry.
The media.
I never could understand that. Like,
He didn't earn that.
Where did Dimes
Definitely
come
didn't earn
from?
that nickname.
Yeah.
He didn't throw many.
Danny Big Pennies?
Yeah.
Let me stop.
But if we're really talking Danny Dimes, number one, we cannot give all these. We can't give him all the excuses that we don't give the other quarterbacks.
What do you mean, sir?
Baker Mayfield had a lot of play callers, different head coaches.
Don't give him enough grace.
We talking about Justin Fields right now. He had different coaches and all this type stuff. So You know, we can't sit here and say, man, he didn't have this, he didn't have that, he didn't have that, because he had the opportunity to play. And with our own two eyes, his best season is the bottom of the tier quarterback. 3,200 yards, 15 touchdowns.
Count the rushing yards, count the rushing yards.
Russell Wilson just got cut 29 touchdowns and way more than 3,200 yards. So he's a bottom of the tier quarterback, point blank, period. This offensive coordinator, that head coach, there's people around him. What we've seen with our own two eyes, he's a bottom of the tier quarterback. It's time to move on. Go draft you a quarterback high. I don't care which players came out of Duke. Get you another player out of whatever.
Don't go back to Duke, though. Unless it's March Madness, or you going to basketball.
It's time to move on from him. You are not, and I say this very, very clear, you are not going to win a Super Bowl with Danny Dimes. Point blank, period.
Whoa.
So it means it's time
Super
to
Bowl?
move. That's why you draft a quarterback in the first round.
Let's just bring it back.
I'm just saying, that's why you drafted and paying money.
You can't really do nothing with a quarterback like that, though. Forget Super Bowl.
You want a playoff game, Shady?
I mean,
But I'm saying, Shady, they gave him the money, they drafted him first round, so obviously somebody felt like this quarterback might be able to do it. But with our own two eyes, with what we've seen him do on the football field, now it's clear that he's not the dude. We all agree.
It just sucks, though, because, like, I mean, we got to do our job and talk bad about the player because he's a bad player, right? He's bad. But on the other side, it's like, man, it ain't really his fault.
It's not his fault.
Agreed. Because he should never even had the keys.
Sure, correct.
For you to give a player like that the keys to your home, keys to your car, like, you just don't care what's in the house.
They gave it to him twice, though, Shady, so they had to see something.
But what I'm saying to you is, like, for you, and I think some of that is Brian Daboll, confident dude, and he deserves to be confident. I've watched Josh Allen look elite, and a lot of that goes to Brian Daboll.
Sure.
I watched backup quarterbacks with the Bills when I was there. With Brian Daboll, they look elite, because he's that good of a coach. So a lot of guys in this league, they're arrogant, right? Not arrogant, but this. He do bad with you. He can do good with me.
Right.
And I think when you look at Daniel Dimes, like, you don't even see that. I don't even like his best year you just described was regular.
I agree with Shady, though, and I think a lot of this, I feel about this how I felt about the Steelers drafting Pickett. There comes a point in time where you're stuck. You got to take a quarterback. That quarterback draft class was notably below average. The Giants had to take a quarterback. They had been stuck with Eli Manning for years. After Eli Manning, remember, Geno Smith ended Eli Manning's career start streak. I don't think Daniel Jones ever should have been taken.
But all that's cool. But now let's take it to getting paid.
Yeah.
So I understand, like, you draft a quarterback, you think, like, he might be that dude. It's a lot of quarterbacks out there that didn't pan out to be what we thought they were going to be. Right. You think Daniel Jones is that guy. He showed you that he's a bottom-of-the-tier quarterback, and you gave him a new contract and all that money.
I think because they won with him, so they was like, if I can win with this bare minimum, maybe I can get him a little bit better, maybe have a chance, to win more games.
And Daboll did make it.
They won 9 games.
They did win a playoff game. That did happen. But when you're talking about what the Giants are in the spectrum of being competitive, they're not.
No.
They're not a competitive football team.
No.
They're not, and they haven't been for a very long time. What would make me feel better about the Giants, because we know Daboll is a good coach and is capable of developing a player, is if he got someone who was raw that he could develop. The reason that people were confused about that draft pick was because of what he looked like in college, because of what he was going into the NFL. Sometimes we're completely wrong about that, right? There's guys been taken in the 3rd round, 4th round, 6th round who turned out to be the greatest player of all time that we've ever seen. So we're wrong about this stuff all the time. In this particular situation, no one was wrong. So you overstepped, you got a little too confident, you paid him too much. Okay, good for him. You got money for life. We love that.
What pick they got this year?
Question really quick.
What pick they got?
Andy, what pick do the Giants have? I'll get you that answer here momentarily.
I have a question really quick, because you just came off of, because Brian Daboll is surprising to me that you come from Josh Allen and you pay this dude thinking that this dude is, a Josh Allen or capable of winning football games. So my question is he came off of a really good year to the Giants, and that's why you paid him that money. So you mean to tell me you only needed 6 games and now you're ready to cut him? Like, what did he show you new that he didn't show you in the past? If I'm Brian Daboll.
That's what doesn't make sense to me, Joy. It doesn't make sense to me, Shady, is if you were willing to give Daniel Jones, I think $38 million at signing amongst $80 or $90 million in, to some degree, partial guarantees, then after just 6 games, you're like, you know what, we're done?
Why am I doubling down on a mistake?
how do you know it was a mistake? It only took you 6 games, confirms a mistake?
Sometimes it only takes a couple months.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns in them 6 games.
Right, like, it's just, okay, we committed, and
2 touchdowns in them 6 games.
My bad. I was blinded. I was blinded by lust. That's what happened here. Why do I have to continue down this road of mistake?
No Pro Bowls, none of that.
But I mean,
there's nothing.
You made a mistake. It's just we're gonna keep making the same mistake.
I can't keep talking
the Cardinals.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.